Welcome to Wubby Gaming, where we help gamers grow. So this episode is going to be about the Infinite Gauntlet and how to build a team. So you can see in Infinite Gauntlet, each day you start at your checkpoint. I'm on checkpoint 40 and I do from 41 up to around early 50s or 56 every single day. And what's important is to know what monsters are coming up in each node, any dangerous monsters, and then how to counter them. So in this example, off the top of my head, Svart isn't too dangerous, he doesn't do too much. Muchi, I think, has a 0 cooldown attack, so he can be a little bit dangerous on higher nodes. And Glubu can be annoying because he has a Mega Taunt skill, but that only applies if you do a soft control, something like a Possess, because then he can do his soft self skill and Mega Taunt, and that can be really annoying on higher nodes. So what you need to do is to get an idea of which monsters are dangerous. And I struggled with this, and big shout out to Pyronius from Bourbon and Gin, really helped me collecting all of this data. So we're gonna go to a danger list. So I created this because I needed an easy way to know which monsters are dangerous in the Gauntlet. Number one most annoying monster I find in the game is Daedalus. So Daedalus is a Mega Taunt monster. He starts off with Mega Taunt, and so you have to use something like a Tabora to trait disable, and not trait disable, but to positive effect remove him. So Mega Taunt monsters that start with Mega Taunt are super annoying because it can really stuff you up on higher nodes. The next set is 0 cooldown and 0 stamina and extra turn. They're all kind of similar because the way you counter them is very similar. But we'll start off with 0 cooldown. So these are monsters that even if you do a cooldown activation, they can still attack you. So Nor, Dr. Watts, Nightingale, Metal Beat, Abysmal, Taney, they can all attack you even if you use someone like a Heinrich or a Kodama. So when you're using that strategy, you always need to be careful of these monsters and use something else to, say, possess them or blind them instead, because they will still attack you even if they're on cooldown. Even better strategy is just don't use your cooldown activation monsters on these nodes. The next one is very similar, but instead of 0 cooldown, 0 stamina attacks. So if your strategy is to use someone like a Kodama and stamina drain them, so Kodama or Sluggazoid to stamina drain, then you need to be careful of these monsters. And there's probably some others as well. I don't use this strategy too much, but if you are relying on Sluggazoid or Kodama to stamina drain monsters, then you need to be careful because these monsters can still attack you even if they have 0 stamina. So Nor, Ilion, and Moonhaze. The next set of monsters that can be quite annoying is the extra turners. So these are monsters that even if you do something like a Possess or a Blind, they can get rid of that skill and then attack you again. So Nor, Arumul, Nightingale, Ilion, Moonhaze, Quoxelcroc, Siberio, Rara, Krusty, Ilion, and Moonhaze. Hey, I have Ilion and Moonhaze again for some reason, so we'll fix that up. So these monsters, even if you do a Possess or a Blind, they can get rid of that as long as they have their turn and then attack you the next turn. So that can be super annoying. So the main counter to this is either do a cooldown activation, which is pretty good, or do something like a freeze so they can't actually move on that attack. And the last category are the evasion monsters. So these are similar to the categories above in that if you do like a Possess or a Blind skill, they can do a self skill, which evasion, and then that can become super annoying. So if you don't have a monster with a positive effect removal ready as soon as they finish their turn, then they can actually wreck your team. So the two most dangerous categories are definitely the Mega Taunt monsters and the evasions. So you need to be really careful on those nodes, especially once you get up to the 50s, because they can really wreck your team and you have to revive your monsters if you want to keep going. So these are the sort of categories or the danger categories for Infinite Gauntlet, and we're going to go through how to counter each of these in detail as we progress through the Infinite Gauntlet each day. So stay tuned for future videos where we go through how specifically to counter each particular node. But for now, what's most really important is to have this sort of Gauntlet tier list on your in front of you when you're doing the gauntlet, so you know what to expect. So in this example, Spart, Glubble, and Moochie. We can go here and look. We're looking for Spart, Glubble, and Moochie. So Glubble is here. He's a Mega Taunt monster. Need to be careful. Spart and who was the other one? Spart and Moochie. Are they here? They're not here. Sometimes Moochie can cause me trouble, so I think he might need to be here somewhere, but I don't remember what he does. So if you guys find stuff where it's not on this list, let me know and we can update it together. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.